in the end, as the darkness takes me, I am nothing.
Greetings and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube, and you creatures of the fifth dimension. Darth Revan here, pieces alive, and well, it happened. I prayed daily that this would not happen, that Rogue One, a movie with so much background and foreground, such an established universe around it, would not be this bad. Now let me first also apologize for my voice. I am very sick and have been trying to get better for the last couple days, but haven't been successful. Also, I did record this video once before already when I went to go see it, and the mic quality was horrible. My mic is having issues right now, and I don't have the resources to buy a new one. So, hopefully this one isn't as choppy. I think I fixed it, but, you know, we'll see. I'll have to look at it again as I record it. I've tested it, but, you know, we'll see. Anyway, the day I went to go see Star Wars is now cemented in my mind and heart. It is etched on the tablet of my mind because of what happened that day. Not only did Carrie Fisher die, Princess Leia died on that day. I also saw Rogue One on the same day. I was having trouble containing myself when I got home because it was so bad. I thought Force Awakens was bad. I thought The Force Awakens was bad. But this is something else. This is something else. This is a new level of bad. I have no voice. I tell you, I have no voice. This is taking Star Wars and doing this to it. Doing what they did in Rogue One. That is just... it destroys everything. It makes the continuity what little there is, because it is choppy. It is choppy between 3 and 4. It is choppy. This is supposed to fix it. This just breaks any continuity at all and rips it to shreds. And now you have no idea how did we get from Episode 3 to Episode 4, because Rogue One adds so many problems to the universe, to Star Wars. It's meant, and this is the worst part, this is your job, is to fix this. You have a goal in mind. When they made A New Hope, I understand a little bit. I maybe even can give you some leeway because you're stepping out and making something new. Personally, I hate the movie and everything it stands for, and it can burn with the intensity of 1,000 suns. That's how bad my hatred is for it. But I have more lenience for that than what they do here in Rogue One. Let's start off with the first 30 seconds of the movie. You see the legendary screen a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. And then you cut to a ship flying towards a planet. I gave it a second. I gave it a minute. Because I thought, there's no way. There's no way. This is supposed to be one of the main movies. There's no way. They're not. Oh my god. There was no word wall. There was no golden words crawling on the background of stars, slowly going up into nothingness. It wasn't there! How can you get that wrong? Like, how can you mess that up? You can't mess that up. It is so basic. It's so basic to do that. It's so basic. It is I could do it myself, okay? With my humble editing software, I could make a word wall, a crawl, with the basic starting premise of the story, where we're picking up the story. I could do that. In 5 minutes I could have that done. Why was this not done? This makes no sense. Whatever reason they might possibly give you is not even closely relevant. It's a main Star Wars movie. It needs a word wall. If this is them trying to say, well, you know, maybe we're stepping back, we're not even sure what we're doing anymore, maybe it's just because of the amount of hate they're getting. They're trying to change it and make it so, oh, maybe this isn't not. No, no. If you're going to do this crap, you own this crap, okay? Don't take little steps. You go out there and you make the Star Wars movie as best you can. And if you mess it up, well, then you got to own it. But this just seems like they're so timid now. And that's just the first 30 seconds. The rest of the movie just completely rips apart any continuity between 3 and 4. I don't even, honestly, this is the worst part of the movie. Let's talk about the story for a second. I cannot remember any of their names. The only one, I don't even know. I don't remember. I don't really. I remember the girl's name was Stardust by her father. That's it. So that's what I'm going to call her, because I have no idea. I didn't care. Because as the story goes, none of the characters got their proper development time. I didn't invest in any of them. None of them at all was I invested in. The only one I found slightly interesting was Saul Karras, I think it was. Hey, I remembered one of them. Hey, about that. He was the only one I found slightly interesting, because I'm like, a bad rebel. Like, of all the things you could have explored, a rebel who's on the loose, you know, bad cop kind of thing. That had so much potential as a story. That had so much potential for you to tell. Why is Saul Karras so messed up? Why is he blown half? Why does he need a rebreather? Why is he a rebel Darth Vader? Why is that? What? Tell us. What's going on with him? Why is he so ticked off? You're never told why Saul Karras is such a lunatic. And granted, yes, he is an absolute lunatic. He's a madman, that's for sure. You know, from what they tell you, I mean, he's not afraid to torture people. He's not afraid to kill people. I mean, he is not a rebel as a typical rebel. He is a rebel, but he's more of a, you know, more of a separatist than a terrorist than a rebel. That had so much potential for the story, because we'd never been told that story in a Star Wars movie. We'd never been told that anywhere, frankly. I mean, a bad rebel. That would have been awesome. But no, you get him for... what? How much screen time did he have? He's probably the most interesting character, and he got the least amount of screen time. He's this movie's Boba Fett, is what he is. Then our main character... Excuse me for a second. I'm gonna edit that out. There was for our main character also. I mean, you get a glimpse of her problems, her anger, and why she doesn't want to join the Rebel Alliance. But in the end, she does, of course. You know, for her father and all that stuff. But I mean, I look at her and I'm like, well, this character doesn't seem to have a purpose now. And that's the worst part. None of these characters had a purpose. None of these characters... well, frankly, none of them survive. None of them survive the movie. And that's the worst part. I mean, you could have connected the movies so well here. I can give you a better ending. Let's talk about the ending for just a second. I know this is kind of disjointed, but you're just going to have to go along with it. At the very end of the movie, when they send the Death Star plans to the orbiting Rebel fleet, because they attack a planet trying to retrieve the plans of the Death Star from the Imperial Archives, and they transmit the plans to the Rebels, they get off the tower, go all the way down to the beach, and sit there while the Death Star fires, yes, the Death Star fires, and blows up just that facility. The Death Star has variable settings, and so they use it it's basically a nuclear weapon when used at its lowest setting. My question is, why are you there? Why are you sitting there? You could have gotten to a ship, and this would have made the story be so beautiful. Is if those our two heroines, our main hero and our heroine, or maybe even a few more of the characters, got off the planet, cut to the ending of A New Hope, you know, where they're getting the award ceremony, where Han and Luke are getting their medals, da 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 da, and then the camera slowly pans to a corner of the room, and there's our hero and heroine, and there's the droid even, There they are. They made it. And here's them completing their cycle. And now their story is complete. The rest of the story continues. Why? How hard? I thought this up. I'm an idiot. Sometimes, okay? I'm not stupid all the time. But I've done some stupid stuff. Okay? I'm a moron. I'm not a storyteller. I'm not a writer. But yet I can come up with a better ending to this as soon as I left the theater. That's what I thought. Immediately, that's what I thought. How bad are these writers that are writing Star Wars and how bad are they? Why are they so terrible? I mean, it isn't. Okay, all right. Well, just continue. I could start rambling, but I'm gonna try and keep some sort of semblance to this. Let's move to Grand Moff Tarkin. Now, if you've ever read the Tarkin books, which I have several times, it is a great book. I recommend it highly for any of you who are Star Wars fans. Go find and read the book Tarkin. It is available on Audible. If you want an audiobook, you can have it right now if you go download it. Not sponsored, but yeah, that's where I got it, and I love it. It's so good. In that book, you get a glimpse into Tarkin's life, and why he's such a calculating, cold-hearted badass. Why he's the perfect leader for the, or not leader, but, you know, one of the higher tri-echelon of the Empire. Why he's almost the top tier. Why he's a Grand Moff. You get that. And you see how smart and intelligent he is. And he's got a rival trying to take command of the Death Star, this director whatever. I have no idea. But the director who helped build the Death Star, you know, and this is the worst part, they break what's in the book. Grand Moff Tarkin was the overseer for the entire project of the building of the Death Star. This director guy is trying to usurp that because actually he did it. See, that breaks the book. And that's book's canon. It's still canon, but it breaks it. Like it breaks so many other canon parts of the movie. But anyway, when I told you about the late Death Star firing its gun at the Imperial Archive, so this is what boggles my mind. The total amount of rebel troops on the ground were 2 transports worth. 2 transports worth of foot soldiers, lightly armed shock troopers. You're gonna fire the Death Star plans just to destroy them? Well, no, I'm assuming it's to destroy your rival, right? But no, you know for a fact, if you read those books, how much pull Tarkin had within the Empire, how much political power he had, and how much favor he carried with the freaking Emperor himself. He's not gonna, and he's gonna destroy the Imperial Archive that contains all structural blueprints for everything in the Empire. Why in the living hell are you destroying that facility? There is no reason to destroy that facility. That facility is obviously important. Hell, there's a planetary shield around it. You've got 2 Star Destroyers constantly on scene to defend that facility. That the facility is apparently important to the Imperial economy. You're not telling me Tarkin would destroy it to destroy one rival, a low-level director, when he's a Grand Admiral, and 2 transports worth of... In fact, the troops are already dead at that point. The troops are already dead. The only 2 people probably left on the planet who are on the rebel side are our hero and heroine. That doesn't make... No, you've made him look stupid. No, you can't do that to Tarkin! Tarkin is awesome! You know, honestly, from the first moment I met Tarkin, you know, the Imperial Senate will no longer be concerned to us. I've just received word that the Emperor has dissolved the Council permanently. The last remnants of the old Republic has been swept away. Like, who's this guy? Who's this guy? Oh, he sounds cool. I mean, he's calculating, you know. He's evil. I mean, oh my goodness. You get a feeling of this guy's potential. When he walks in the room, he carries command and presence. And now, he just looks like a trigger-happy child with a gun. Why have you done this to Tarkin? You give him the most powerful weapon the Empire's ever constructed. And you're gonna make him use it like a toy gun. What? I could draw more here. I really could. But like I said, I put a little annotation in front of this video. Like I said, the reason that I'm gonna keep this short is because I could sit here for hours and hours and tell you everything that's wrong with this horrible waste of money movie. Who's spending millions of dollars going to see this? The thing is, that's the problem here. The problem is these people know that they can make the absolute worst movies and make a humongous profit on the name alone. On the name of Star Wars, this is being done. This can't, and that's the worst part. We can't stop it because there's so many people who are such dedicated Star Wars fans that they will go see it even though they know it's going to suck. They know, and that's the problem. There's nothing we can do to stop it. I see this happening everywhere. And let's talk about my final point here. The final point, this is what, at the very end of the movie, the Death Star plans are handed off to Leia after you get a glimpse of Darth Vader in his glory, killing rebels. You know, that scene is probably my favorite scene of the whole movie, when he's in that dark corridor and there's all those rebels shooting desperately at him. He's just badassing, blocking laser bolts, ripping the guys apart with the Force. Just, oh, mwah, just such a good part. That's Vader. But when they hand the Death Star plans off, you find out that Leia was there at the battle. Now this part really confuses me and makes me angry that this isn't not thought out. Why did Leia accompany the assault fleet to the Imperial Archive world and try to steal the Death Star plans? And not only that, why is her ship docked inside of the Mon Calamari battleship? Why? If you're going there to help, don't hide inside the capital ship with an entire blockade runner. What? What? That doesn't make any sense. There's no reason for you to be there. And you've already been given a mission. Before she left, her mission from her father was to go get Obi-Wan Kenobi off Tatooine. That was her mission. But if she went with the assault fleet instead, and then got the hold of the Death Star plans, and then went to go get Obi-Wan Kenobi, she not only was stupid enough to continue to run to a place not where she could hide and maybe lose the Empire, you know, maybe an asteroid field somewhere where you could actually lose a Star Destroyer with a smaller ship. But no, you go to Tatooine to pick up Obi-Wan Kenobi. You lead Darth Vader to Obi-Wan Kenobi. What the hell? This ruins it. You know, I can understand if she's on her way to get Obi-Wan and then is intercepted. You know, maybe they intercepted that transmission on the way to pick up Obi-Wan Kenobi, and they just couldn't stop because they didn't want to risk, you know, not getting hold of that Jedi. You know, because, you know, a Jedi is extremely a valuable asset to the Rebel Alliance. I mean, that freaking makes sense, that the Empire traced the signal and intercepted them. That makes sense, okay? It was the Empire can do that kind of stuff. You know, they have control of the HoloNet. I mean, they know what's going on. They have very good intelligence. But now you're making it so that Leia literally almost betrays the entire Rebel Alliance, the last of the Jedi, practically, Obi-Wan Kenobi, the last active Jedi, as far as we know. Well, there's others at this point still, I think, but, you know, that's not canon anymore. You're gonna lead him, Darth Vader, to the last Jedi, and hand him over the Death Star plan. Like, of all places you could run to, in all corners of the galaxy, you're gonna go there. Lead that one Star Destroyer to Yavin 4 so that it can be disassembled by the entire Rebel force. Even Darth Vader would have trouble managing the entire Rebel fleet. That's where you should go. That's the only safety. Obi-Wan is safe and there, and you know he's there. You can retrieve him later at this point. You have the Death Star plans. You've just witnessed how powerful the Death Star is. The Death Star was there at the battle. Holy crap. How breaking is that? That makes Leia look stupid. And when she's when she's captured and she's like, we're on a diplomatic mission to Alderaan, I'm like, look, now at this point, he saw you with the Death Star plans. He saw you run away with them. He saw you. What? It's a diplomatic ship. We're on a diplomatic mission. No, he saw your ship. You tracked it straight from hyperspace. There's no way he doesn't know who the hell you are. It makes Leia look so stupid. That's the worst part. Every single time they've made a movie now, they've made one of the main characters look retarded. Han Solo not being able to fix the Millennium Falcon, and now Leia almost handing the Death Star plans and Obi-Wan over to Vader. She might as well be Darth Leia now. Like, what the... And none of the other characters are even worth talking about, because why do I care? I mean, really, as far as the story goes, why do I care about these people? Why should I care what happens to because they're rebels? I side more with the Empire, to be honest with you. I side more with the Empire. Oh, they're trying to bring terror to the galaxy. Well, guess what? How do you control billions and billions of beings? The only thing you can do is terror weapons. That's it. That's your only option. You know, no peace and negotiation. That's not possible on our human planet. Okay? Between the nations, okay, we can't even deal with that. That's just fractions between us. And we're one planet. Think of that happening on a galactic scale. Yes, a terror weapon is the only option. In my mind, that is the reason and necessity of the Death Star, of Vader, of weapons that can wipe out civilizations. Because if one civilization steps out of line, well, sorry, I mean, you're not conforming to... I mean, this is what the United Nations is for on our world. You step out of line, you know, NATO will come after you. That's the point of the Empire. And the Rebel Alliance is the counter to that. They're supposed to be, you know, trying to reestablish a democracy. This is like the... you know, America fighting against Germany, basically. It's a world war of the, you know, Star Wars. Star Wars. And now you've made it so that the rebels seem either completely incompetent, completely fractured, and you don't even explore that. You don't even explore the fracturing of the Rebel Alliance. And then they add in, oh, some sort of Rebel Council. That also ticked me off. A Rebel Council? It wasn't a Rebel Council. I understand there's the leaders, and they have councils, and they sit and take each other's advice, but there was no council up to this point. At least I had never heard of it. I had never heard of a rebel council. It's like, why are you're adding and taking away so much stuff that now the story does not connect. Ugh. Yeah. Well, I thank you guys for listening to me talk, especially when I'm sick. I really hope that this stops soon. I really hope that George Lucas... I mean, dude, I hope you have enough money saved up to buy back the rights to Star Wars, and then you just disown all of this. I know that would be... And I hate that has to be the fact, you know, because that's the last we'll ever see of Carrie Fisher. You know, the Star Wars cast is getting older. Rapidly, and they're not going to be around to do another movie. Star Wars The Force Awakens was their last chance to, you know, really appear in Star Wars. And now, I mean, we have no hope for a real true continuation unless we really heavily use the CGI. But honestly, the CGI characters, they did Grand Moff Tarkin and Leia with real actors but CGI faces, and it looked really good. I really was like, wow. That looks really good. That's almost perfect. You know, you can tell. I mean, if you look closely, you can tell. But it was really good. Carrie Fisher, Princess Leia, was the best looking CGI. I mean, so there's hope, I guess. But not for the original actors. Well, I hope you guys have a good day. I hope that you don't be fooled by anything with a Star Wars title on it, you know. And I have a new hope that the fans will keep creating such awesome content that I've seen over the last couple days. You know, that's my new hope, and that's the only hope Star Wars has for continuing. Anyway, I hope you guys have a fantastic day again. May the Force be with you, and I will catch you all on the dark side.